Hello, a lot of people say words signify things, like the word coyote signifies the real thing, coyote, but I don't think so. I think that a word signifies, represents the idea of a coyote. And then it's the idea of a coyote that represents the real coyote. And it's an important distinction because the idea of a coyote is a dynamic thing. It's something that can change and live. It behaves. Whereas the word is meant to be as unchanging as possible. It also changes, but in principle, the symbol is static and unchanging. The idea can change. Now, that whole pattern is itself just an idea. The fact that one of these relates to the other is an idea, is itself an idea. So that actually represents how things, a theory of behavior, let's say. Okay. And then that itself is really just my idea of how representation works. And of course, I could go on and on and on with this sort of infinite reduction. That's how I think ideas work. So when we ask, well, does something exist? Of course it exists. Does the self exist? Yes, of course it exists. It is an idea. It's not an illusion, it's an idea. The self is an idea. And it's meant to represent examples from the real world. And that's the question. Does it represent those examples from the real world? Examples of self. Situation where people are willing or the self is involved. All these situations of living intentionality. Does that exist? Well, yeah, those behaviors exist. If you have an idea of self and you want to say, well, the self is an illusion, you just mean that your idea doesn't actually represent the real thing, the concrete behaviors that we've seen.